Hello Epic Hero. I've never done a favorites video before on YouTube. It's a tag that people do where they show all of their favorites. A lot of times they do a favorites of the month. The categories are going to be clothing, media, wellness, art, and people. So with clothing, I think I actually came out in January of 2018, and all throughout there I was kind of struggling to figure out how I wanted to present, and I was just kind of trying to figure out my non-binary style with the clothing that I already had. In June of 2019, basically Pride was coming up, I decided to go out and get myself some masculine clothes. I went to Goodwill, which is where I got all of these things. I shopped in the little boys section, which was a tip from Ash Hardell, the YouTuber. And I got one shirt in the men's section. It was just like slim fit or petite or something, whatever they call it. I got this one, which has become my go-to button-down shirt for all like nice events. I wore it to Thanksgiving, I wore it to baby showers, I wear it when I want to feel extra snazzy and boss at work. Also a winner from the men's section. I just like anything that has that kind of like a gay boy vibe. This little astronaut top. I think it's like fairly cute. You can see up close, it's got this little astronaut's little star galaxy pattern, which really goes with my whole nerd boy aesthetic. These shoes, which unfortunately have already been stained a little bit from me wearing them to work. Like I wore them out to a date night and then didn't go home that night, and so went to work the next day in these shoes. I would not advise that. From now on, I'm keeping an extra pair of like Toms or something in my car. A watch really makes an outfit, and it has helped me feel really like the extra bit of dressed up. But funnily enough, I actually got this I think when I was 14. My mom gave it to me for Christmas and I did not appreciate it then, but this watch has like saved me so much. It looks so classy. I found it really hard to find masculine earrings just in and around, but I did go to Spencer's and go to their fake gauges section, and they had these little guys. They're like a little diamond on one side if you want to feel like bedazzled, and then they have sleek silver stainless steel on the other side, which is my favorite way to wear them. My next category on my 2019 favorites has to be media. So I had a weird year with TV shows and movies. I watched some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I watched some Avatar: The Last Airbender, I watched a little bit of Adventure Time, and I had a hard time watching things. I think I was trying to center myself in the real world. Weirdly enough, that being said, I think every single movie I watched this year, which there might have been like 5 to 10, I cried like a baby. So the thing that was my favorite this year, media-wise, is the Steven Universe episode called Change Your Mind. It kind of wrapped up the whole Steven Universe franchise up to that point. He meets White Diamond. He figures out who he is, who his mom was. Steven's coming back home to his like gem world, and the diamonds are like kind of like his mom's in a weird way. And there was a lot of just like him trying to explain to them his identity. In his case, it was like, I was you're, you know, little cute girl who then had a son who was me, but I am her. I mean, it was like kind of complicated, but in a way it was kind of parallel to some trans identity stuff, because he was like, you can't call me Pink anymore, you have to call me Steven. Like, I'm not that person that you thought I was. And I found that strongly paralleling like trans experiences, and they were just like, well, babe, we're not having any of it. Until they like slowly started to support him. And then they even like, he was having flashbacks of how like he was raised back when he was Pink Diamond, their little girl diamond, and how badly they had treated her and how they had loved her, but they had really emotionally abused her. Like they locked her up whenever she made them mad, and he was like, this is not okay. This is not how you love someone. And then just seeing it like wrap up in the end in a very nice, supportive way. So yeah, and plus I love my diamonds. I got the fandom reignited in me. The one bit of fan art I did this year was after watching Change Your Mind. I drew my favorite character, Pearl, and since I am a barista, and that's like making coffee is half my life, I drew Pearl as I feel like she would look if she were a barista. It's a little sloppy, but she's just a makes your coffee for you. I feel like I could do with a whole series of like barista pearl. Oh, I think that was also the episode where we got a non-binary, another canonically non-binary character. There was canonically Stevani, who was Stephen and Connie fused, which was a non-binary character. But we got another non-binary character whenever Stephen and Pearl, I believe, fused. And they are so fabulous. I love them so much. Oh, and then like in the final battle, Pearl learns to fight for herself and not live for others, and I think like Garnet realizes that like she's enough. I honestly kind of forgot Garnet's arc, but you know, Amethyst realizes she belongs, and it's just so beautiful. These are a couple of little books that I bought. This comic is really cool, and it shows like how to use they them pronouns. I've like put it in my break room at work a couple times, both of my most recent positions, to kind of help people understand how to use they them pronouns. But also their comic, I forget what it's called, but they post like little slides from their comic about just like queers on their Instagram, and it always is so relatable. I love seeing media that represents me and my friends and my life. So I would highly recommend both this book if you want to learn more about they them pronouns or explain it to someone else easily, and also their comic. And this one was created by my favorite YouTuber of the year, Leena Norms, and it kind of runs parallel to a poetry book that I was producing this year, so that struck a chord with me. I love her content. She's very mindful, she's very real, and I already cried reading a couple of the poems in it. So yeah, this is a book. It's like sort of like a trans identity Bible for young adults. It's called Trans Plus, as you can see. This is a free copy, so it has, so none of the colors on the pages are colored in right now like they would be in the actual final edition, but it goes through so many things about trans identities and queer identities, written by Catherine Gonzalez and Karen Rain, who are local Austinites. Well, actually Catherine is, I'm not sure about Karen, but Catherine is a local Austinite. She also runs the Out Youth, what do you call that? Oh yeah, the Out Youth nonprofit organization for LGBTQ youth here in Austin, which I've done some volunteering for over the summer, and it's incredible. I don't even know everything that they do, but the couple of things that I help with is their drop-in center, where they let kids, LGBT kids after school, just come hang out. They have workshops for them that are educational, that equip them with mental health resources and just like queer and trans identity resources and community and love and support. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Moving on from there, I have my category of wellness. As you will know if you've followed me for like pretty much at all, I've talked a lot about my mental health on this channel. That is something that I'm trying to steer away from in the future because I think it's best kept to myself to work through, but I'm glad for what I have shared. Hopefully it helps people, and I just wanted to give some of my favorite wellness tools that I was able to utilize this year. One of my favorites, recommended by a friend, I cannot thank them enough. It is called Youper, and it is a nifty little app. You can download it onto, I'm pretty sure, any smartphone, but it's like a cognitive behavioral therapy, like a talk therapy texting bot. So every day, or as often as you're feeling like it, or if you're in crisis, or if you just want to start keeping up this practice, you can text this little bot, and it tracks your mood. It like talks through, if you're having an anxiety spiral, you can say, I'm anxious for these reasons. It talks you through it a little bit because it's programmed by actual therapists, and then it'll offer you some things to work on. Some like, it'll be like, well, are you caught in a thinking trap? You know, are you spiraling? Are you catastrophizing? Are you mind reading? And it walks you through what these thinking traps are, and it walks you through how to kind of stop them. Yeah, and there's so much more to it than that, but it has been an incredible tool. One of them is my bullet journal. So I did do a whole video on bullet journaling, which I started this year, but that has definitely been hugely significant to my mental health. I used to have a big hard time maintaining daily practices for health. I'd be like, why aren't I getting better with my health or mental health, whatever? And it was hard to see any progress. But with bullet journaling, I'm able to habit track, which is basically the main thing that I use it for. You know, how many days a week I'm jogging, how many days a week I'm eating my vegetables, or doing meditation. And I can see over a longer chunk of time the progression of my mental health. And it from zoomed out like that, it's much more clear that I'm getting somewhere, which is so awesome. A YouTube channel that I've been using for yoga. I started doing yoga this year as well, and I follow a YouTuber called Kassandra Yoga, I'm pretty sure. I'll link her below as well. But she does just yoga classes for free online, and I've been able to, I bought, a yoga mat and a couple blocks, and I've been able to do yoga most days, which has helped incredibly with my neck and back pain from a few years ago. It's helped with my mindfulness, it's helped with peace, and yeah, just wanted to shout out Kassandra Yoga. Next one category is my art. So as I have said previously, I did not do a lot of art this year. It was a lot of me figuring out how to adult, and then also studying, trying to catch up on math, get caught up on my vaccines, all of those kinds of things. The main two things that I've done this year with art was this, which is probably the biggest thing. I'm not going to show you a lot of it because it is private, but this is a little cute journal that I got at Goodwill a few months back, and I've been doing a project where every single day, or most days, I draw a picture of me and my girlfriend, like a sweet memory moment that we had that day. Yeah, I do it most every single day, and sometimes the days where I miss a day but I had a moment I wanted to share, I'll scribble it down in pencil and ink it in later. I'll just show you an appropriate page because there are some more risque ones. Here's a picture of us just napping together. The picture of a nice little day we had, This little book has really helped, besides just being a precious treasure for memories, it's really helped me get back in touch with the side of art that is just for me and for my friends, and not for to be mass produced. I spend a lot of time on it, and spending a lot of time on something that is not meant to be made money off of or for the future, and it's literally just for the sake of art, I feel has really gotten me back in touch with what I want to do with art. When I get back into writing novels, I want to write what I want to write about for real, and not for a market or for an audience. In the same vein as that, I have this little book here, which is my poetry book. Oh my goodness. I was just going to show you the art in it, and I just now realized this is probably out while you're watching this video. So this is a poetry book that I wrote last year and compiled this year. Oh my goodness, what? It's taken a long time to get here. Last year was really my first whole year, after leaving my parents' house, after becoming an atheist, after coming out as bisexual and non-binary, which was a lot, and after, moving out of my parents' house and figuring out life as an adult. So I had a bit of a turbulent time, you might say. I wrote a lot of poetry during that time to kind of sort through my feelings, and I compiled them all. I wrote them just for myself, not to share. But then, in the same vein as that little sketchbook of art from my relationship, I found the art that I wrote just for me to be better than the art that I wrote for an audience or whatever, so I decided to share it. It's called 1 Year with a Fallen Angel. I'll read you a little blurb on the back. One young adult stumbles through the disorientation of depression, bisexuality, and gender identity in the year after leaving religion. in this raw collection of confessional poetry. It's just what it says on the tin. I also did all of the illustrations for the book. So as you can see, the little front heart. Drew little simple sketches, realistic style. There we go. It is very, very raw and maybe a little emo, but you know what? We all have our outlets, and this was mine. The fourth and final section of my favorites from 2019 is people. Now I'm not counting family in this. This is the people things, the socializing. So I did go camping this year, and with a very, very special person. And I also went like outside more. I did a lot of the Barton Creek and the Greenbelt. I went to different like bars and comedy nights and shows, and just like, I'm really glad I did. I really feel like I explored Austin this summer, and I know there's like a ton more to explore, but I was also able to do that with some really cool people. I had 4 different partners this year that I dated off and on, and I also went on one-off dates with a couple of really cool people. It's kind of interesting because obviously those relationships didn't last, and I'm not gonna like go into much about that, but I'm not gonna say either that that wasn't amazing. My next one was gonna be my queer community nights, queer community events, queer community nonprofits. I've already shouted out Youth. I'm also gonna shout out the Q Austin, which I think I've mentioned in other videos. My last favorite that I wanted to shout out is my coven. I've mentioned them in several of my videos recently, but I joined a coven as a student in, I think it was June or July, and I've been studying Aquarian Age Wicca, and I've started to feel really at home with my community there. I love their love for each other. I love the way they support each other, and I love exploring the spirituality and mental health, and yeah, I'm just so excited to explore more of life together with some really cool people. I don't know, I just have such good vibes from that group, and it's been really, really rejuvenating to me to be a part of it, and I'm really looking forward to throwing myself more into my Wiccan study in the new year. So that's where I'm at. Thank you for hanging out with me and hearing about all of my favorites from 2019. It sure has been an explorative year and a grounding one. And until I see you again, always remember that we are epic heroes today and every day of our lives. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy holidays. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about my favorite things. Plus, this is in keeping with December, isn't it? Like, these are a few of my favorite things.